Okay, good evening. My name is Meredith Melvin. I am a band teacher here in Yorkville, and I teach at Bristol Bay and Grand Reserve, and I am joined by Miss Sarah Pezel, who is the orchestra teacher at Bristol Bay and Grand Reserve. Tonight is your child's first step in learning an instrument, and this is an excellent time for you to get all your questions answered, as well as find out a little bit more about our program, and also find out how you as a parent can help set your child up for success. Before we go on to the next slide, I want to draw your attention here to this oval. I just think this is a really great statistic. It says, music students are often some of the highest academically achieving students in school and make up the top 10% of the graduating class more often than their non-music peers. So there's all kinds of benefits to learning an instrument, including higher self-esteem, better self-discipline, creative expression, appreciation for the arts, as well as just the enjoyment of playing an instrument. But that's just one more advantage, is that academic achievement. Next up, Ms. Pezel is going to tell you a little bit about how your child decided on their instrument.
So last week we had a few days where students were able to experience different instruments. The first day of Instrument Exploration Week, the students came to an assembly where they heard the high school band and the high school orchestra. Below you'll see a picture of the high school orchestra, and then above you'll see a picture of some students enjoying the assembly. And then here are some pictures of the marching band during the assembly. For day 2, students were able to hear each instrument individually, performed by the music teachers. This time was for them to really narrow down which 4 they would like to try. The very next day, day 3, students were able to try their 4 favorite, and they narrowed that down to their favorite, which they brought home to you last week.
So a question we get a lot of times is, what is the difference between band and orchestra? So orchestra instruments are made up of the string instruments, which is the violin, viola, cello, and bass. Those instruments are made out of wood and use a bow to make a sound. The band is made up of woodwind, brass, and percussion instruments. In our woodwind family, we have flute, oboe, and clarinets, and those are instruments that use a reed or keys to make a sound. In the brass family, we have the trumpet, horn, trombone, and baritone, sometimes called euphonium, and those are instruments made out of metal that use a buzzing of the lips to make a sound. And then the last instrument family in the band are the percussion instruments, which are the xylophone, snare drum, and bass drum. And those instruments are available to students who have 2 years of piano experience or 1 year of percussion. Additionally, we have some transfer instruments, which students who start out on the clarinet may be chosen by their band teacher to switch to saxophone, bassoon, or bass clarinet. And if they started on the euphonium or baritone, some of them may be chosen to switch to tuba. And that helps us fill out the full instrumentation of our band. So tonight is the first night in your child's path to learning an instrument, and we want you to know that your child is joining a very successful and highly reputable team. On the left-hand side, we have a picture of the orchestra here. The orchestra has gained a wonderful reputation throughout the state of Illinois for having superior musicianship, and they've traveled all around Illinois performing and competing. On the right-hand side, we have a picture of our top high school band, who has won Super State several years in a row and has gained a wonderful reputation, again, in the state of Illinois for superior musicianship. And we are just so proud of the music education we offer our students here in Yorkville, and we would love to have your child part of our team. What's really great is all these students started where your child is today, which is at a parent meeting, finding out more about our program, and now they're performing all over the state of Illinois and throughout the country, representing Yorkville in such a wonderful, positive way.
Also, as part of the winning team, your student has many opportunities to experience music in various ways. For example, there are some field trips that we go on in middle school and high school. In middle school, we go to Six Flags and we perform there, Vandercook School of Music. In the elementary level, we go to the Chicago Symphony Orchestra and we see one of the world's best orchestras perform. In high school, there are many other opportunities. For example, on some years, they go to Disney World and perform there, and I think last year they went to New Orleans and they performed there and competed musically with other bands. Some other opportunities in music, aside from the classes that we have during the school day, like concert band and chamber strings, we have opportunities after schools for students. For example, our marching band after school or our alternative strings after school. So there are many opportunities for your students to be involved in music in many different ways.
Okay, so this is a really great overview of what our 5th grade band and orchestra program look like. In 5th grade, we focus on the fundamental skills of music, so note reading, rhythm reading, instrument care, and recognizing basic musical symbols. Our schedule is structured like this. There are twice a week before school rehearsals that go from 7:30 in the morning till 8:25. If that is an issue for your family, please contact us and we would be more than happy to help you with carpooling options. In addition to the full groups that are before school, we also have weekly lessons that are instrument-based. So for example, we have all the trumpets come down together and work on trumpet technique, or all the violas come down together and work on viola technique. This year as a 5th grader, your child will perform in 4 concerts this year, as well as 2 dress rehearsals, so that's a really exciting time, and that's one of the best parts of being a musician, are those performances. A list of those performances are in the packet that you were given, so you can plan out your schedule and see if there's any conflicts with any other activities your child is a part of. This last bullet point is really important. If your child is interested in taking part in band or orchestra, 5th grade is the year to do it. Waiting until 6th grade puts a student at a disadvantage for the rest of the group because they're late starters, right? Everyone else in that room has been playing their instrument for a year and they're joining late at square one. So 5th grade, it's before school. After that, every other year, it's part of their schedule. We just ask for that 1 year of before school commitment, and it's really the best way to set your student up for success by starting them in 5th grade. On the left-hand side here, here's some of the staff. This is the YIS and Autumn Creek staff. On the left-hand side, we have Miss Caitlin Hunter, and she teaches orchestra. And then in the middle, we have Miss Maggie Davis, and on the right, Mr. Tom Schumann. Those are the 2 band directors at YIS and Autumn Creek. This is the staff for Bristol Bay and Grand Reserve. On the left-hand side is Miss Pezel. She's the orchestra teacher. I'm in the middle there. My name is Miss Melvin, and I teach band at Bristol Bay and Grand Reserve. And I'm joined by Miss Linda Dewey at Bristol Bay and Grand Reserve in band.
So you're here tonight to find out more information about the band and orchestra programs and also to meet your child's band or orchestra teacher. Another reason for tonight is to check out in the cafeteria. We have representatives from Elman's, which is a band rental company, and Austin's, which is a string rental company, available for you to answer any questions that you have, and also, if you're ready, get you signed up for an instrument. In mid-September, students will start their 30-minute lessons during the school day. So those are those small group lessons like just trumpets or just violas. If you take a look at the packet you received when you walked in and checked in at the table, there's calendars in there that lay out when those lessons start, what's going to be learned during those lessons, and also around early October, we'll start those early morning rehearsals from 7:30 to 8:25.
Okay, so you as parents have an important role in setting your child up for success in music. Here are 3 things you can do. First, setting aside a proper practice space. So Ms. Pezel will tell you later what that looks like. Secondly, encouraging good practice skills, so reminding them to practice. We encourage approaching it just like any other homework or chores that you have, so it's part of their daily routine. And then lastly, ensure that your child has all the necessary materials. If you rent from one of our vendors tonight, they have a list of all the required materials through Elman's and Austin's, and so you know that your child is getting everything they need to be successful in band or orchestra. As we said, the 2 vendors that are here tonight is Elman's Music, they do the band rentals, and Austin's Violin Shop, who does the orchestra rentals. You might be asking yourself, well, why these 2 vendors? And there's some very important reasons for that. First of all, they only rent out high-quality instruments. This is so important to us. We want to make sure we're setting our children up for success. If you look at that middle there where it says important on the little sticky note there, it says good quality instruments set your child up for success and make it easier for them to play. Poor quality instruments break more often, are costly to repair, and actually make it harder for your child to play. What may seem like a bargain at the time could actually be a waste of your money. So again, these 2 vendors are reputable. We know that they are only renting out quality instruments, which will make it easier for your child to learn to play and not harder. Other advantages to these companies, they make weekly trips to the schools. They can deliver any items that you order, and they can also make repairs on site. That saves you as a parent tons of traveling time and not driving around, dropping off instruments and picking them up. They come to us at the school. And then lastly, as part of the rental contract, they have really wonderful insurance programs where they cover any repairs that need to be done, any damage that is done, or if it's a lost instrument. And so that's a really great advantage to renting. One thing of note that Ms. Pezel and I really want to emphasize is we do encourage all students to rent first and not buy. There's several reasons for that. For example, string instruments come in very different sizes, and as your child grows, they will need different sizes. Additionally, with band and orchestra, we just want to make sure that this is a good fit, and this is an activity that your child is going to continue in before you invest a ton of money in it. So both Austin's and Elman's offer introductory periods. That way we're getting a good quality instrument in your hands, and then that gives you as a parent more time to find a quality instrument to buy. If you do choose to go the route of purchasing, we just ask you include us in that process. We understand if this is something you're uncomfortable with buying an instrument. We are experts in helping you with this. We do this every year, helping 5th graders find instruments. So please keep us involved. We are more than happy to help. Please use us as a resource.
So what should a practice space look like? It should be quiet and free of distractions. Students need a chair with no arms, and that's important so that students are able to maintain proper playing position, and that's something that we will learn as we go through 5th grade band and orchestra. Students also need a music stand to hold up their music, and it needs to be well lit so that they can see. A final thing that we recommend as optional is a timer so that students are able to keep track of the time that they practice. The reason that's important is because we give students goal sheets, but I will talk more about that on the next slide. It's important to set a specific time each day to practice, much like Ms. Melvin said about making sure that's part of the routine, like chores and other homework. It really allows a student to succeed if they have that time of day where they practice their instrument. I mentioned goal sheets. In our class, we give out goal sheets, and we have students fill them out with goals for the week. And that could be new skills that we learned that week, or other things that we're learning, or terms, or many types of skills that we learned throughout 5th and 6th grade orchestra and band. Repetition is really important, making sure that student is taking those small chunks, whether it be 1 to 2 measures or 2 to 4 measures, and really getting that small idea before they move on to the big idea. And when a mistake is made, it's totally okay. It's really important that the student fills that out in their sheet and makes corrections in their music. And we also do that in class. And then after practice is done, students would record their practice minutes on that goal sheet. So we recommend that students practice about 20 minutes for 4 to 5 days a week, and that's about 80 to 100 minutes a week. Now I know that at the beginning, you might hear some creative sounds coming from your child's instrument. We totally love those sounds, and that's part of being in music, but please be supportive of those sounds. I know it's hard at first, especially as a student who's learning. It's really important to have that support from home, so making sure that even though some sounds might be creative, that you're there supporting them.
Okay, and this brings us to our last slide. Please make sure you signed in when you came in and you got a packet that corresponds to your school and your program. That will probably answer a lot of your remaining questions that you have. Also, make sure you meet your child's band and orchestra teacher. Again, I teach at Bristol Bay and Grand Reserve. My name is Meredith Melvin. Ms. Pezel teaches at Grand Reserve and Bristol Bay for orchestra. All other music teachers will be found in the cafeteria. And then lastly, please make sure everybody stops by the cafeteria. The 2 vendors that we have, Elman's Music and Austin's, will be there. They can answer any questions you might have about pricing and contract agreements and how our rent-to-own program works. Thank you so much for being here tonight and supporting your child in music, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.